welcome to Acquired Taste Podcast. We are back. It's your boy Dirty D.
It's your boy Tech Daddy.
And it's Queen Bee.
We are back. It is a trio. We gave Ben and John the week off again.
I think John gave himself.
You know, I saw him over the weekend. He was not pleased.
Why?
With what?
For those that listened to the last time that we had all three of them on, or all the boys on the episode, I may or may not have gone on a bit of a rant.
Right. I had to end that. Yeah, I forgot about that.
He not the happiest with me, but it's fine. It'll be fine.
Is that his first time getting fucking roasted? He'll be all right.
By me, yes. Actually,
I've never seen him mad.
Words hurt. Allegedly. He's fine. He was just joking with me. Welcome to Acquired Taste Podcast. We do history, mystery. We just talk about music again. It's been a while since we've done one of those. If you are new, welcome. Like I said, we try to do. This is a history one at least. We started off as a history podcast, but we kind of branched off as some other stuff. We do some listener. There we go. We do listener suggestions. So if you have them, please shoot it to us on our socials or on our email. Either way is cool. We check them all. So, appreciate that. Anyway, if you're new, thanks for checking us out. We do about 10, 15 minutes of some banter. It lets us warm up a little bit. Gives us a chance to knock the dust off, to get into the groove, if you will. If you want to see what the meat and potatoes is about, though, you can skip ahead a little bit. You'll get to the actual topic. If not, though, you're going to hear us joke about something for a little bit and as we warm up. If you are a return listener, thanks for coming back. We have like some new followers again, so that's been going up. That's pretty nice. So if you are a new follower, thanks for giving us a follow. We appreciate it. We thank you. Please share us with your friends and family. We're a family-friendly podcast, I think.
Yeah, if you guys happen to stumble across us from the TikTok, thank you. We're gonna try to keep that up, posting more videos. And if you guys don't follow us on TikTok, you should, because it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
That's I'll leave that to Deej and B on that one. I don't have I have a face for the radio, so we're just gonna keep it that way. I'm gonna be unknown, and it's okay. But yeah, if you're returning, if you've been supporting us for a while, we do appreciate you. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you've been drinking water. Stay hydrated. Remember to mind your own business. Have peace. That's important always. And as usual, we get your forehead kisses. Nice.
Yeah.
You get your forehead kisses.
We almost harmonized.
I know.
It's weird.
I was trying to I knew you were going to do one last one. I missed it.
We appreciate you all that have been supporting us for a while. Or if you're new, again, we still appreciate you too. The love is for everybody. Check out our new merch though. We definitely came out with some new designs on our merch site. If you see us on the social media, you'll see our link tree. On the link tree, you'll see a link for our Etsy. Or if you just use Etsy in general, Acquired Taste Podcast, you'll find our merch. We have new stickers. We have new T-shirts. I created buttons because I don't know. We have buttons. I don't know why I don't.
Buttons?
We have buttons. I have one in my room. I'll show you.
I want a button.
I ordered a tester. I already promised it to somebody else.
What the?
Sorry. Anyways.
Yeah, if you guys like the new design we came out with, you would have noticed with all of our ridiculous cartoon faces.
Yeah, if you guys want to wear our faces, you can do that now.
We put that on a t-shirt. Thanks. Shout out to Alex. He's on Instagram. He's Alex_Storm. He does a lot of really good cartoonish artwork, mainly for wrestling, because he does like ringside announcements for wrestling. Super cool dude, and he fucking killed it with the design for sure. Tell us which one is your favorite.
It's gonna be Ben's.
It better be Ben's.
It's gonna be Ben's.
Ben's is the best.
And hopefully you all have seen what we're talking about. If not, again, check the social media. You'll see what we're referring to. It's a wee bit ridiculous, but that's what we're here for, to be a wee bit ridiculous.
Yeah, a little bit. So
check out the new merch. We just ordered testers they came in today, and they look pretty good. They look pretty good. So get you some of that sweet merch if you really want to wear our faces. Which some people probably do. They are ridiculous. And there's a pigeon.
There is a pigeon.
There is a pigeon.
Yeah, you just gotta look for
And an alien and
I want a
Rasputin.
T-shirt with just the pigeon on it.
I'm going to work on that.
That would
I
be
have the
dope.
isolated design for the pigeon, so I can probably put that on something.
Hell yeah.
We'll work that out. We're
Oh
gonna.
yeah. Yeah, I'm glad he sent us that.
Yeah,
that was
no,
wonderful.
that was super great because then I was able to make us a Facebook banner.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I'm going to put that banner on our Patreon as well,
Cool.
Hell yeah.
wherever I can put it.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. I mentioned before, we do a little bit of banter in the beginning. So what you got going on, Deej? What's your question for today?
I was thinking about this today.
Mm-hmm.
What is your guys' go-to fucking energy drink? It doesn't got to be an energy drink. It could be coffee, whatever it is. What's your guys' go-to? Because I've been through pretty much all of them, and now I just have one I drink religiously.
Okay.
Well, you guys want to go first? You
sure.
Want to do it? Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I just drink Celsius, really.
Celsius.
Excuse me, because it doesn't make me feel like crap after I drink it. I don't feel my blood moving, which is how I describe it. Like for like some energy drinks, when it gives you too much energy, like I feel like my blood flowing through my veins.
Yeah.
Like for a pre-workout, that's great. But like if I'm just trying to get my job done, that's a bit much. Which is the only reason why I drink energy drinks in the first place. I'm
It
sitting
doesn't
in
happen to me anymore, man. That used to happen, but like I
there
feel
might be a
like
problem.
my body is like 30% caffeine at all times. So
Drink more water.
I probably should do. Well, actually, okay. So my go-to energy drink is Monster Mango Loco, the juice one.
Oh, okay.
It's the one I always have when I'm
Yeah.
It's the only one that I've ever found that doesn't taste like horse piss and Skittles.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of those ghost ones.
Ghost feels like it's too sugary.
Yeah, and
I haven't tried those.
it's really. I mean, at first it was good,
Yeah.
and then after like the third drink, it was like,
Yeah. But like
It's hurt my stomach.
I've been trying to like get away from. I've been trying to like drink less calories.
Sure.
Is the thing because they're good, but the only reason that they taste good is because they're loaded with fucking sugar. So I have been drinking this stuff called Water Joe, which is literally just caffeinated water.
Okay.
wow, I never heard of that.
It's like a bottle about this big, and they have it at like Meyer and shit. And it's literally like the same amount of caffeine as an energy drink, but it's just like a liter of water. And it just tastes like bottled water. It doesn't taste like anything.
Oh.
So
But it works?
yeah.
Okay.
It makes
Sure.
me feel like I just drank an energy drink.
Yeah.
Which I don't quite get the pulsing in my veins or anything.
Yeah.
I just kind of
science.
like, yeah.
Yeah, if I take a pre-workout, I mean, I guess Celsius is technically pre-workout. But if I drink like an actual pre-workout, then I get that like blood moving feeling. But like at a gym though, that's fucking perfect. That's exactly what I need.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting at a desk. I'm not running through a fucking wall.
Yeah.
Like I don't,
See, I stopped the pre-workout because it was just giving me fucking blue-colored diarrhea.
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah, well, the flavor
Were
was.
you-
I've
blueberry.
never had blue.
I was going to say, were you drinking like spirulina or whatever that shit is?
No,
I've
you
had a
know,
lot of colors of poop.
I was never a fan of
Not blue.
pre-workout. I never really used it. Maybe of like all the years I've been working out, maybe like 5 times total I've used pre-workout. But funny story was a couple weeks ago, I had went out to see Pete Davidson. I barely slept that night, and I had a show the next day. Well, I worked the next morning, and then I had a show, so I was going off 1 hour sleep, and I was at
God.
work just fucking delusional and had no time to get energy drink or anything. Didn't have anything at the house, but at my job, I did have pre-workout, and I was like, I have to do this.
Like, I need something.
I have to
Just
do
dry
this.
scoop of, just do a dry scoop of pre-workout real
Dude,
quick.
I did
Yeah.
3 scoops and a bottle of water. And
Oh,
I
fuck,
just
dude.
like fucking because I was like, I will fucking die if I do not do something.
I've been in a similar position before. Like, I was literally like at work a couple months ago, and I had no caffeine, and the coffee maker at work was like broken or something.
Oh no.
Yeah, and I was like, I was like desperate. I was like, I need something, or I'm gonna fall asleep at my desk right now. And my coworker is like, do you want one of these like superfood tablets? And I'm like, what the? I guess it's like compressed like vegetable matter or something. I don't know.
Like the like super grains kind of deals?
Maybe it was disgusting, but she's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
it'll give you energy, and I'm like, all right, let's do it. Let's do this. So I drank that with some water, and it did the job.
Yeah.
Because I do take I like the powdered greens like for like vegetables and all this shit. Because I know I don't eat enough vegetables in my diet. I know I don't. So
Yeah.
like I do that as a substitute.
Yeah.
I'll tell a story about that later on. That's not for the podcast, but not for our daytime podcast, at least.
Yeah.
Check out our Aftertaste
Our
podcast
aftertaste. Yeah, we've
on Patreon.
On Patreon.
$1 a month.
$1 a month. We're recording one today, actually, so get on there. But yeah, it does actually say it's for energy. I don't really tell the difference. I also think it's kind of funny that none of us mentioned drinking coffee for energy.
So I drink coffee at work. Well, I used to drink coffee at work. I don't really much anymore because I drink the Water Joe at work. Like I just fill my Stanley up with my knockoff Stanley.
Yeah, we got bills.
With exactly with the Water Joe. But we did get an espresso machine at work a few months ago.
Fancy.
So every once in a while, I'll make myself an espresso.
We used to have a fancy coffee machine when I still worked in the office. It was like a touchscreen when you make it whatever you wanted. We had like one for Starbucks and then one just whatever brand.
Yeah.
And it was fucking great. I drank a lot of coffee back then, and I kind of weaned myself off of it. I go to a grindhouse though every now and again. If I really want because sometimes a coffee just sounds delicious, and it is. And so I go to Grindhouse. I went to Tiny's in Miller, though, this past weekend, and holy shit, their coffee was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I was thoroughly impressed.
The coffee was even good, huh?
Everything they did there was amazing. Their food was great. Their coffee was great.
So sad.
Their atmosphere was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Their cocktails were good.
Man.
Like, there was nothing about that place I didn't enjoy.
Yeah.
And it had convenient parking.
What the hell?
Exactly.
Win right there.
Now, it was.
There was a lot like across the street from it.
Yep, that's
right?
what I'm.
See, like I had to look. I looked up the parking ahead of time because that's just who I am as a person.
Sure.
And I was like, oh, there's a lot right across the street that I can park at. I didn't even end up going.
I didn't look up anything. I just went in blind.
I can't do that. I can't do that, man. If I don't know where I'm parking, if it's in like a new environment and I don't know where I'm parking, I have to know. I have to know.
Yeah, I literally go by the fuck around and find out method of life.
Nope, can't do it.
Yeah,
and I just got to dive into it.
Can't do it.
I got lucky enough to get Emily and I tickets to see Deftones when they did that after show. And that was a shit show trying to find parking.
Well, there's parking right around the corner from there.
Not at fucking 9 o'clock at night for a
Oh,
Deftones
sure. Yeah, that
after
makes
show.
sense.
Yeah,
Never mind.
there's not parking for.
Do you ever use like Spot Hero or anything?
I used to use Spot Hero until they started sending me to really shady spots.
Oh, really?
I see that.
Really, really shady spots to where I was like,
Damn.
yeah, no, I'm not parking there. That's not going to happen.
There's, I know right by the metro, there's a parking lot across the street, isn't it? There's like there's one by the McDonald's, if that McDonald's is still, I've been to Metro in here, so. But I know there was one the parking lot right next to the McDonald's on the corner.
It's changed, yeah.
And then, is the taco place across the street still?
Yeah, still there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm about to say, that's a fucking staple.
Yeah.
On the north side, it's a
still
damn
there.
taco fucking truck.
But like Lollapalooza was going on. It was a Lollapalooza after show. So
that's impossible.
Like when they do events like that in Chicago, they'll block off Clark for that whole stretch, you know. And we parked illegally. Like there was a sign that said no parking, but there was a bunch of other cars there, and we were like, "Fuck it."
You're like, what are you gonna do?
So it's all,
You're gonna tow us off? Like, yeah.
honestly,
sure.
like 2 strong men can pick up your car and move it. So like,
That's
Yeah.
probably
well,
true.
it wasn't my car, it was Emily's car, but it's still equal to size.
well, it's about a little bit bigger at least, but yeah.
Sure, you know. So yeah, it still could have been moved, but yeah, it was a fucking night. We spent like, I don't know, 20 minutes trying to find parking.
I believe
That's
that.
one of the worst things about the city.
Honestly, yeah. Like I've made it to the point in my life where I just pay for a garage. I don't care anymore.
Usually, yeah.
I'll just do it. I'll bite the bullet. I'll pay the fucking $30.
Yeah, because it's like, I mean, the amount of money you spend in gas just driving around for an hour and a half.
Yeah, my time is more valuable than that
Yeah.
now. So like, I'll just pay for the parking. I'll leave my car in the parking garage and then Uber somewhere else if I'm going somewhere else.
I guess the good thing about it is we did have time because Deftones didn't play until fucking midnight.
Yeah, because apparently we're not adults.
Yeah,
Yeah, you were telling
I
us
was
about
so
that
mad.
last week.
Just so mad about it, you know. So we had the time, you know. But yeah, energy drink. That's where we're at.
Yeah.
Mine's is sugar-free Red Bull.
Ugh, I
That's
cannot drink Red Bull.
that's my go-to.
It just reminds me of like my early 20s and it makes me want to die.
Oh, Red Bull vodkas.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I guess it's kind of good because I've been a whiskey guy forever when I was drinking. So like I was never like none of my mixed drinks had Red Bull in it ever.
Yeah, that was a smart decision.
You know, so like a Red Bull, a sugar-free Red Bull is like I will slam that motherfucker in like 3.5 seconds. Good to go. I don't feel jittery, and even most mornings I don't need something. Once I start moving and I'm working, I'm good to go. But then there's those days, you know,
I don't drink an energy drink in the morning. It is, I guess, still morning, but I don't have my first, I only drink one a day, and it's not until like 10 or 11.
Yeah, see, if I don't drink mine in the morning, if I feel good, I'll wait till after lunch, after I eat.
It's usually after I eat. I usually eat breakfast around 9, like 9:30, and then it's a light breakfast anyways, but after that's like digesting, then I'm like, okay, it's like 10:30, 11. About midday. Yeah. Let's fucking do this.
I try not to start drinking them until like midday, but every once in a while I just need that boost in the morning. Yeah. So I'll crack it open and I'll take like a few sips and then I'll throw it in the fridge and then I'll come back to it later.
Yeah. See, I have a problem where on lunch I'll eat my food and then I'll lean the seat back and I never sleep better than in my car on lunch break. Yep. I will fucking knock out, mouth wide open, snoring. Guaranteed within minutes.
And then your phone alarm goes off and you're like, what century is it? You don't even know your own name.
And like, if you know me, like, you know, I'm one of those dudes who will fall asleep under 30 seconds flat.
Oh, I've seen it.
Just real fucking quick. It. Yeah. And I don't even need to be in any way inebriated. I will fall asleep.
I'm the same way. You know? I'm a sleepy bitch. I'll fall asleep anytime, anywhere.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
So that after a lunch Red Bull is lifesaver.
Having lunch breaks. So
your whole day is a lunch break. Get out of here.
Yeah, I fucking wish, but okay.
You fucking cook breakfast while you're working.
Yeah,
and you shut up. All right.
It's not, but that's not a lunch break though.
I don't want to hear it.
Whatever.
I'm like balls deep into
you're talking semantics.
I'll be like knee deep in a meeting, like, oh yeah, about this, and here's the numbers, here's projections, while flipping my eggs.
You're still you're in your underwear. I don't want to hear it.
All right, look, just because you can't do it. Doesn't mean it's bad.
Exactly.
Doesn't mean it's bad when I do.
Another reason for me to be mad at you.
You've had a lot, apparently, just because of my fucking job.
Yeah.
We're not getting into that.
Not so much anymore. Not so much anymore.
I made you mad earlier.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Anyways, so let's do our topic of the day. We're 17 minutes into this bad boy.
Okay.
We might as well dive into it.
Yeah, let's dive into it. So this one is kind of, it's straightforward, but really not.
No, it's not.
What we're going to talk about, you're going to be like, oh, okay, that's cool. But then when we start getting into it, you're going to be like, what the fuck? Like, I don't even know if I got any valid information because we didn't, honestly.
I'm like so excited for this because I didn't do any research for this. So I'm coming in blind. They're just going to be telling me about it. And the little bit that they have told me already, I'm just like so beyond confused about.
It is an enigma. That is for sure. So today we are going to be talking about allegedly Sidney Reilly, aka Georgie Rosenblum, aka Sigmund Rosenblum, aka Shlomo Rosenblum, aka Solomon Rosenblum, and even Sigmund Georgievich Rosenblum.
Well, he's pretty consistent with the last name. I think we missed
one, actually. There's also Dr. T.W. Andrew. There is Mr. Constantine. Oh, yeah, we're not done yet. Like, I don't know why you thought we were done with these names all of a sudden. Dr. T.W. Andrew, Mr. Constantine, and George Bergman. Or his other names as well.
American.
His American name.
So he's pretty consistently Jewish-ish sounding.
We're gonna get to that too.
Yeah. Okay.
We're gonna cross that bridge here in a moment.
Do it.
You're gonna hear a lot of allegedlys, may or may not.
Allegedly.
Yeah, a lot of allegedly. Like if you've ever watched the show Letterkenny and they say allegedlys, we're gonna say it more than them. Prepare yourself. This is because a lot of our research has so many different answers to this.
Yeah.
So a lot of allegedly's, you're going to hear it a lot because this research that we've done,
there's nothing solid really about it.
He's known as the ace of spies for a reason because even his origin story, nobody actually knows.
Even he doesn't know.
He is that good of a spy.
Yeah, he really is.
That's when you know you're the shit.
Sidney Reilly was basically one of the main inspirations for 007.
Yeah, Ian Fleming found the reports of this man. I think it was during World War One, and started his International Man of Mystery, pretty much based upon the stories of Sidney's exploits. Because there's a lot of them. I'm gonna get into this. Let's dive into this guy. So starting off, as I mentioned a little bit ago, his origins is.
Really not even sure when he was born.
Yeah, we're gonna say what was it, 1873 was the most consistent.
According to Ukrainian newspapers, could have been 1873.
Right.
According
Somewhere
to
around that time.
Yeah, according to Andrew Cook, who was the author of Ace of Spies, could have been 1874. Both March 24th.
Yeah, the day. That's fun.
That's kind of fair though, because I feel like back then births weren't always recorded
Yeah, they weren't writing that
super
shit down.
accurately. So I feel like most people's exact birth date is a little ambiguous during those
Yeah,
times.
I imagine the doctors were like smoking cigarettes while they were
Oh yeah,
delivering the babies.
they for sure they were
know.
They were doing
smoking
that with
cigarettes
the-
in like the 60s.
Right, dude. Like that's not even really a question.
No, yeah.
Yeah, so during when they were about the James Bond part, like during the man behind James Bond, which I believe when you had asked, we were talking about this earlier, who came up with the idea for this podcast. But you had mentioned me. I think this is where I got it from.
Okay.
I've seen this, but he was actually listed as one of the inspirations for James Bond. And as you know, I'm a big James Bond fan, so love me some Bond.
So, bonus question: who was your favorite James Bond?
Ooh, that's a big question.
That's what I thought your question was.
I thought it was going to be
for
too.
today.
Yeah.
You know, I would have, but I haven't watched many James
Yeah,
Bonds
I
to even
haven't-
answer
I
that
haven't either.
myself.
'Cause, I mean, Sean Connery is of course a classic. He's not my favorite.
I think the only ones I think I've seen like a couple Sean Connery ones, and then maybe like a Daniel Craig.
Yeah, Daniel Craig actually wasn't bad.
Who was the guy that they used for the video game?
That was Pierce Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan.
Mm.
Yeah, I
Which
would,
again,
go,
a great Bond as
I
well.
would go with Pierce.
Yeah, Pierce Brosnan. Roger Moore was my guy. Roger Moore was my dude.
Okay.
But Sean Connery, of course, special place in my heart. But yeah, Roger Moore was my man's. Behind the fancy gadgets and the watch and the Aston Martin. So it's good stuff, man. A lot of good Bonds out there. But anyways,
Yeah.
About this dude's alleged birth. So the year, again, very, very debated upon. Who his lineage came from is also highly debated upon.
Yeah,
like who was
honestly.
this man's parents?
Yeah, he may have been born in Odessa
Might have been.
or possibly Poland.
Maybe.
He may have been of Irish descent.
Could be. Maybe.
Allegedly.
He might have been British.
So some of his stories go from the son of an Irish merchant, the son of an Irish aristocrat, the son of an Irish clergyman, the son of a landowner in the court of the Emperor Alexander III of Russia, the son of a Russian mother whose father was a high-ranking officer of the Russian military. Were there a few more? Didn't he have a couple?
Yeah, it also believed he might have been born to Jewish parents who converted to Catholicism
Oh, there we go.
later on. Yeah.
So but if he was born to like an aristocrat or like someone really like high up there and well known, wouldn't it be more documented? You think?
So, actually, a funny story about that. So, even with the whole aristocrat thing, with his mother being like a lower, my bad. I didn't write that one down. I should have wrote that one down. His mother might have been also an aristocrat as well,
Okay.
but she was also a very, very low-ranking one. And this is the time of these like great kingdoms of Europe. So this is before World War I. So this is pre all of them dying.
like
essentially.
everybody's an aristocrat.
Exactly. Like if you have a little bit of money and some kind of education, you're probably an
Gotcha.
aristocrat.
Gotcha.
So there was so many of them everywhere, especially in Russia at the time. No, it was easier for him to go under the radar for that. But anyway, so he grew up, who knows, doing what with who, whatever.
He grew up at some point
was
somewhere.
known, though, this motherfucker did get arrested.
Oh, okay.
So he was arrested as he was a part of the Friends of Enlightenment, which does sound like a fucking cult. Just putting it out
What
there.
is that?
The Friends of Enlightenment were, I believe they were the early Marxists. So they were part of the Marxist organization when they were still in their infancy.
Yeah.
Before they took over Russia.
That sounds so culty.
It does, though.
Yeah.
Like Friends of Enlightenment, that sounds
Friends of
culty as fuck.
Enlightenment.
Like they definitely drank the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Should bring that back. Who wants to join the new Friends of Enlightenment?
I don't want to do that. So he was a courier for this group at the time, because this is still pre World War One. So it's before the Bolshevik revolutions, before the Tsar was overthrown. So, like at the time, the monarchy was still in power. They didn't want anything that was against them. So he got arrested for being a part of it. He was in jail for I think a couple years, and he was released. Cool. His dad found him. It was like, "Hey, dude, you're out of jail. That's tight. By the way, your mom died, and I'm not your real dad."
Oh.
See ya.
Bye, orphan.
So it was like, what the fuck, dude? He's like, well, who's my papa? Papa? You're not my father. Like, yeah, no, dog, not your dad. Your dad is actually this Jewish dude. He's a doctor.
I am not the father. Bye.
See ya. So he gets abandoned by his father. It turns out that his dad was a Jewish doctor, according to his father.
Well, that's better.
No, it's not.
No?
Because this is also in Russia, and there was during a very,
I wish my dad was a Jewish doctor. Are you kidding?
not then you didn't. Because this is, again, pre-World War One, which means pre-World War Two, which means Jews were still hated in Russia.
Yeah. Never mind.
Yeah,
That
like
sucks.
there's
A lot of anti-Semitism.
like kind of everywhere. Like that never really stopped. Like Hitler gets blamed for a lot, but Russia needs to take some of this heat.
Yeah, Lenin,
Yeah.
Stalin,
And before them,
You know.
before Lenin and Stalin, the Russians still hated the Jewish people. They've had a rough go,
People
but
are still hating on the Jewish people.
thanks, Kanye.
God damn it.
But he made graduation, so it's cool. Anywho,
Yeah. So we're going to call him Sidney Reilly for the sake.
That's for the
all
sake
names,
of all of this. Yeah, that's good.
Sidney was a linguist. He spoke allegedly over 7 different languages fluently. He was super, super good at this. Eventually, around the age 19, allegedly, he would have made his way to London.
So I'm going to go before that too. There's still some more story we're missing here before he makes it to London. So gets out of jail. That's Jew. My bad. I'm out. So again, allegedly, he was also an anti-Semite himself. So what he did
So
was
he was like pissed when he found out. He was like, damn it.
like, damn it. I'm going to get the fuck out of here. And so he faces his own death.
Oh, okay.
So let's start off the story with him with him faking his own death.
Yeah.
And then he goes to Brazil and changes his name to Pedro. Forgot about that name.
Pedro.
Yeah, I forgot that name too.
Yeah. There's some wild stories of him in Brazil, too, that may or may not be fucking true.
He goes to Brazil and renames himself Pedro.
Pedro.
Yeah, he becomes a cook, basically.
Yeah, he did a bunch of odd jobs. So the last job he had there was as a cook. But
He
he was
really
like,
said, new phone, who dis?
literally, like, I'd rather be a Brazilian than a Jew. I'm out.
Damn.
Yeah.
So before he was even a cook, he was like, he did road maintenance. He was like he helped build buildings and shit.
Yeah.
He did a bunch of odd jobs in Brazil.
Pretty much you name it. Yeah.
What if his real dad was like, Sidney, I'm so glad I found you.
Fuck you, Papa.
He's like, I don't know who the fuck Sidney is. I'm Pedro. I live in Brazil now. Bye.
Like, you see this mustache?
Some of his job titles might have been included a dishwasher, a cook, a bouncer. And then even later on, we'll get to it when he gets to other countries. There's other weird jobs that he got, but supposedly to collect intelligence.
Sounds like a fuckboy career path.
Yeah,
Dishwasher, cook, bouncer.
Yeah.
Damn.
He basically
promoter.
He got to be a cook for a group of British explorers. Allegedly, these group of British explorers were attacked by cannibals, and Sidney was able to fucking 007 and protect and kill some people. And
How allegedly is this part?
Oh, it's pretty alleged.
Okay.
It's pretty fucking alleged
Okay.
because
it's real pretty.
so part of this story of them being ambushed by cannibals is that there was actually a British secret agent with this group of British military patrol that was in Brazil. So allegedly, again, Major Charles Frothgill, whatever, was a.
If you say it with a British accent, probably sounds Major Charles Frothgill.
Nah, it didn't sound better.
Yeah, but it sounded like it made more
would've.
sense.
But
It sounded like it makes way more sense what the fuck I just said. So that's cool. We'll go with that. So he, according to the story, they were ambushed by cannibals. Sidney picks up the pistol of a fallen officer and starts killing all of the cannibals with marksman-like accuracy.
Okay.
Literally.
Okay, but like at this point in the story, there's no explanation for like how he acquired like spy skills.
No.
He just like
He was a cook.
Pretty much his whole life, he was really good at lying.
okay.
He was
That's why he was a good spy.
really, really fucking good at like
Okay.
not giving anybody any kind of truth at
Gotcha.
all.
Okay.
Right. So hence the allegedly of this whole story.
Allegedly.
So he saves Major Charles's life, and he's so grateful that he gives him, what was it, 1,500 pounds and a passport to London.
Yeah.
I swear this guy is like my ex-boyfriend. Like he's a line cook and he's like, hey girl, I ever tell you about the time I saved a bunch of people from some cannibals?
Yeah. And
And
another,
you're just like,
It's
yeah.
always the back of house and the front of the house.
I think part of it,
Every time.
what kind of helped him is he also, like I said, spoke 7 different languages fluently. And
Did he really?
He actually did. That's part is actually true.
he was a linguist.
Okay, so this isn't
yeah.
a legend. This is real.
He actually was that.
Russian, French.
Well, because
you know.
where he grew up at in Russia was a port. So
Okay.
he learned all
Okay,
these
that makes
languages
sense.
just from people coming in and out for trades. So that part we can say is true because he did know all these other languages, which is good for him. I can barely remember all the languages. It's never been my strong suit. This dude knew like 7 of them. Again, good
Impressive.
for him.
So I mean, you have to be pretty smart to be like multilingual anyway.
And to be a good liar and get away with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was at least smart.
So the part of him doing all this, again, very alleged. The other story of how he actually ended up in London is a little more plausible, in my opinion. So he is in France at the time.
Okay.
So him and his buddy, Jan,
Jan.
him and his buddy Jan are in France. This is in 1895. And him and his buddy Jan rob these 2 Italian revolutionaries. So they find these 2 guys that are Italian anarchists, and it's like, hey, we'll totally help you guys out. Follow us this way. And then they rob them in an alley of all their shit.
Oh my gosh.
This fucking guy
rude.
speaking French to me over here. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. He said he's got some money for me. We're going to see what he's working with, you know?
Literally robbed the 2 of them of all, and they had money apparently. And he took the money, and then they killed both of them actually.
Yep.
One died at the scene. The other guy died in the hospital later on. And this was actually the only reason why this even comes up is because it was reported in a French newspaper.
Yeah.
That they were the people that did it.
Okay.
But that by the time the newspaper came out, he was already on a boat to England, and he already had a passport. So see ya.
Yep.
Yeah, bye.
Now the time before extradition is like, I did a crime here. I'm gonna leave.
Yeah.
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 I gotta leave.
So he makes his way to London.
Right.
And he basically gets into the big business of being a chemist, you know. He opens up a company called Rosenblum and Company. Within 9 months, he is a member of the Chemistry Society, a member of the Institute of Chemistry, and it appears he's doing good. No. He is a fucking snake oil salesman by basically...
what's her name? The Theranos chick. What's her name? The blonde.
Oh, from our
The chick
fuck.
who made the blood machine.
I don't remember her.
What's her name? What's her name? Wait. What's her name? Hang on.
I do not remember her fucking name.
Elizabeth something.
Wow.
was this the episode we talked about with the deadly women you're referring to? That
No.
pharmacist?
Elizabeth Holmes. Elizabeth Holmes.
Oh,
I kept hearing Hurley in my head. It's not Elizabeth Hurley. I'm
No,
like, that's-
this chick, Elizabeth Holmes. She,
Oh yeah.
yeah, she like came up with the Theranos machine that was supposed to do like. We should do an episode on her because that was wild. DJ, write that down.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's funny because it's not DJ anymore. It's actually me.
Yeah.
Aaron,
But still,
write that
DJ,
down.
write that down.
We'll keep it going, you know. So yeah, he basically goes around and starts selling people miracle cures, a literal snake oil salesman, you know. But this is actually where he runs into his first wife.
Oh.
Before we get into the first wife, I got to talk about his first mistress.
Ooh,
Oh.
okay. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
There was
There's
a
a lot.
mistress.
Wait, how do you have a mistress without having a wife?
Well, it's,
You're right. They were never married. It was they was described as a fling. That's how I
Mistress
read
to
it.
be.
So it shouldn't have been a mistress. It was a fling. They never did marry though. But got to talk about Ethel.
Ethel.
Okay.
Ethel Lillian Bull. She was an English woman.
She sounds like she could beat your ass.
She does sound like that, yes. But she was a writer in England. She actually had an affair. I'm sorry. He was the other man.
Oh.
She had an affair with Sidney.
He was her mistress.
Mr.
Ooh.
Saucy.
Yeah.
So they had an affair. He leaves and does this part of the story that DJ's talking about. But I want to bring it up because she did write a book about him in 1897. Because he's holding like, hey, here's my story. Here's how I was in Russia. I was in prison. I left Russia. I went to Brazil. Shot some dudes.
He said,
Came
hey girl, you want to hear about all the cool shit I
I was in
did?
Brazil shooting cannibals.
Excuse me. Yeah, like literally, like tells some her the bullshit.
Yeah,
and she believes him. Again, the whole line cook thing that she was
Yeah.
brought up.
He's like, oh my God, you're so hot.
And yet they still date in front of house every single time.
Yeah.
It's just a dirty ass Greg just out there just fucking lying his ass off.
Yeah.
Anywho, so she writes a book about him in 1897 called the Gadfly, which is about his life before making it to London. Now, a lot of the story of this was like, oh well, that can't be true, because again, all the alleged stories of this man's
Yeah,
life.
because it was just all the bullshit he was feeding her.
Exactly.
So he could sleep with her.
And there was also no proof that she wrote about him either. So there's never any proof that she wrote this specifically about Sidney.
Okay.
It actually was found out, I think in 2016, that this actually was true. It was actually written about him. So that was substantiated at least.
I imagine he's like they do it. He's like buttoning up his shirt, and she's like on the bed. She's like, "Wait, I don't even know your name." He's like, "And you never will." And he just fucking disappears.
And a cloud of cigarette smoke.
He jumps out the window.
She looks out, there's like a helicopter flying away.
So we don't even have those shit. The fuck
Exactly.
He's just got wings. Like his jacket like goes into a wingsuit.
Like the Eiffel Tower guy.
Oh man. All right, so go ahead with your thing. I'm sorry.
He meets this young lady named Margaret Thompson, who is actually married to a Sir Reverend Hugh Thomas. Now, there's a couple of legends in this portion right here. Number one, Sidney may or may not have paid Hugh Thomas to fuck off and fake his own death. It's number one,
Oh, okay.
which did not happen, but it's a legend.
Allegedly.
Another alleged is that Margaret and Sidney had actually murdered Thomas to get a small not a small inheritance, actually quite large inheritance, because all of a sudden Hugh Thomas got sick. Oh no, he died. He got the flu. Oh no, he's
Yes, the influenza.
I've seen this before. I got to do the cigarette.
Yeah.
My cigarette fell on the floor. So,
Oi.
so another funny part to this story is when this guy fell ill, quote unquote ill. The doctor who actually came to diagnose him was reportedly looked a lot like Sidney.
Yeah, remember one of his aliens was on a mission?
He just had like a fake mustache on.
He had a fake mustache on top of his real mustache.
He's like, oh yes, this is the flu.
Oh, I've seen this before. The influenza.
Sidney Reilly, I've never heard of him.
But
I am
yeah, again,
Dr.
like
Huxtable.
damn it. That man's in jail, or at least was. But no, like one of his aliases was Dr. T.W. Andrew. He did have a Dr. alias.
Yep.
Just putting that out there.
So this is also how he was able to allegedly sign the death certificate for Hugh Thomas. So they were able to get this inheritance money right away. And this was the money that Sidney basically used to travel a lot from this point forward, because he did a lot of motherfucking traveling after
There was also a lot of fucking money.
Yes.
I mean, that's what I would do if I
yes.
all of a sudden had a ton of money.
Honestly, though, yeah, you would
And
never see me again.
This also allowed him to get passports under a different pseudonym, which he went from being one of his original names, Sigmund Rosenblum, changed to his Irish surname, Reilly. which became Sidney Reilly from that point. Or Sigmund Reilly, or Shlomo. That's my favorite one.
Shlomo. That's awesome.
Or at this point, Sidney Reilly or Sidney George Reilly, because he was really adamant about the name George for some fucking reason.
Hey, man.
I don't know why that was really big, you know.
While he was in Brazil, it was Jorge.
It was Pedro.
Pedro Jorge.
Oh, jeez.
Now, Margaret was the first of 5 alleged wives that he had.
Oh my God.
Which I was having a really hard time finding all of them. About 5 wives, a countless number of mistresses. Because he traveled a lot. And under a member of the SIS, which was the Secret International, what was it? It was the spy fucking group he was part of.
Well, it was part of Scotland Yard special branch at first, which then was the British Secret Service Bureau, the foreign section of it, but then the Secret Intelligence Service is
Secret
SIS.
Intelligence Service, yeah.
That's the prequel to MI6.
Okay.
So again, the whole James Bond thing, we're going. There's still that whole connection between the two.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Okay, I lost my fucking spot here. Where are we at?
We should do an episode about the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio where he's a con artist.
I don't remember.
And he's on the airplane. You know what I'm talking about? It's like pretends to be a pilot and then he like fakes a bunch of checks.
Oh, Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah. We should do an episode on the real guy.
Okay. Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio and Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah.
I never saw it.
That was a good movie. Yeah.
It's like based on a true story, but that true story is also completely alleged bullshit. So
Nice.
Now,
Remember that. I'll write it down.
yeah.
Sidney had a big gambling problem, and he spent a lot of money, and he lost a lot of money. The patent medicine business wasn't going good because he was a fucking snake oil salesman, and people were like, hey, we're still dying.
This shit doesn't work.
So,
Right.
it's not working. So from this point, allegedly, he began to work as an informer for Scotland Yard's special branch. And that's kind of how he's making his money. He was spying on radicals and revolutionaries amongst the Russian regime, the Russian community. And this was kind of his like MO, like because he worked for the Russians. The Japanese, the Russo War happened, and then he allegedly worked for the Japanese. And then.
Yeah, so about that, I have a little bit to talk about the Japanese versus work. I feel like the last several episodes I brought this up about just the Russians losing to the island of Japan in winter on their home turf because the Russian military is a joke. Anyways, so back then, what he did was, like you mentioned, he worked for the British, worked for the Japanese, but he was in Russia. Allegedly working for them. Yeah. So he was getting paid. One of the story, the again alleged story of him getting hired by the Japanese was that they were this is again pre-World War I. So everybody was kind of spying on each other. Like espionage was not a new thing. Espionage was a very, very well known thing. But the Japanese were kind of secretive about theirs more so than others. That they were pretend like who they hire, especially since he wasn't Japanese. He was just some white dude.
Yeah.
You know, but the reason why they liked him is because they said a spy motivated by love of country isn't really a good spy, but a spy that's motivated by money is somebody you can trust.
That kind of makes sense, though.
So he was getting paid by the Japanese, the English, and the Russians at the same time. I don't know how he got it on the same bank account. I'm sure he'll figure it out. But he was getting paid by 3 different countries at the same time. The British were pissed. It was like, dude, like, how do we not know that you're not spying for everybody? It's like, hey, I'm just trying to make your job easier.
Yeah.
You know, they're paying me, so you got to pay me as much.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's fine.
Yeah.
Cool.
This was his big thing where he would get offers from people and then he would convince somebody to meet him somewhere and say he would offer them double the pay. He'd be like, I got some information to give you. And then they would show up. He'd be like, I was fucking lying.
Yeah.
And this is like kind of how he moved around. You know, he used leverage against people because he had so much information on everybody, you know.
So part of the Japanese-Russian War, which the Russian Navy wasn't near this for this to happen, but the Russian Navy did lay a bunch of mines off one of their ports. And in order for the Japanese military to attack that port, they need to know where the minefield was, like where the mines were set up at. He was the one who found out where the mines were and gave that information to Japanese, allowing them to attack that port and allowing them to also win the war. Part of the reason why they won the war is because of this guy. And that was documented. So that wasn't alleged. That was the actual thing that he did.
Wow.
So,
so like he's working for the British for the NID, basically. He makes his way to Holland, where the Boer War was happening.
Right.
He gathers information for armament shipments. He gets sent to South Africa. He uses his ability because now he knows how to disguise himself. Because like if you'll find out, like a lot of people don't even know what he fucking looks like.
He's not just putting a mustache on top of his mustache.
Right, he's gotten better than that. He puts fake mutton chops on now.
Oh,
it's a whole different person.
There you go.
But the Boer War that you had just mentioned, he actually masqueraded as like an arms merchant to spy on the Dutch.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
Damn. He's all over the place.
He was getting basically jobs inside of facilities just to gather information.
I have a list. It's not very long. I'll knock it out real quick.
Let's get it.
So he got information from the Russians in Manchuria for the Japanese. He got Persian oil concessions for the British. He went to the Krupp armaments plant before World War I in Germany, stole their weapons plans for another company, including their battleship layouts. So the German, like their giant destroyers and all that shit. Yeah, he sold the plans for it. Good times.
Okay. I'm just like imagining all of these different locations and him just like dropping from the ceiling.
Like mustache blowing in the wind.
Yeah.
Cigarette hanging out his mouth.
All these different like different disguises on.
Cigarette just hanging out his mouth is fine.
Yeah.
One of my favorites when he seduced the wife of a Russian minister to find out information about the German weapons shipments to Russia.
Yeah.
Participated in German sabotage missions designed to draw the U.S. into World War I, which didn't work at the time.
Yeah, this is all very 007 coded.
Oh yeah, he once dressed as a priest to infiltrate a Russian yacht party.
Okay.
What else did he
That's
do?
amazing.
A priest at a yacht party?
Look, if Rasputin can do it,
We gotta have a priest at our
just think
yacht
about
party.
it.
It's not.
Rasputin
it's
was
not,
alive during all
it's
this.
not a yacht party without a priest.
I mean, so how are you gonna bless the wine? I'm just saying. He also allegedly was a parachutist and would parachute behind enemy lines during World War One.
Yeah.
So that's
that.
before we actually had a paratroops. This guy was parachuting out of planes.
He sure was.
Just
Mustache blowing in the wind.
cigarette hanging out his mouth. It's fine.
Yep.
Like, he lights it like at mid jump.
Yeah, right.
Somehow. Nah, he was really good at conning people. He was really good with the ladies. He was a good actor. He was a good liar. He spoke several different languages.
I have those written down. He actually can speak Russian, English, German, Portuguese, Polish, French, and Japanese.
Jeez.
Half of those are very difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was fluent in every single one of those.
Oh my gosh.
This kind of caught him a lot of attention, though, because after X amount of years of doing this, all of these different government entities were like, who the fuck is that guy?
Yeah.
Like,
This guy,
Why is he always here?
I've seen him with 6 different colored mustaches.
I swear that's the same guy.
Like I can see you taking my secret plans, dude.
Yeah.
Like, could you stop?
Yeah, we just paid that guy.
Right.
Like, what happened? And he was able to allocate a lot of money by doing this because, like Aaron said, like the thing about the spy, like his true loyalty was to his bank account, you know, and he loved living a luxurious lifestyle.
Oh, yeah, he did.
You know, so pretty much he was always going to the highest bidder, and he had information to get him always to the next spot. You know, which eventually was going to be his downfall.
And granted, like now we do say he was loyal to the dollar, but he also was actually loyal to Britain, though he never betrayed England, I don't believe, in all of his adventures.
Yeah, I think in his later years, he was pretty much gunning for Russia.
Well, yeah, I can see that.
That was kind of his thing, you know. But like I said, he was doing, like, he got a job as a welder at a company before. He worked for like a timber company, just all types of weird odd jobs just to make those connections.
Actually, part of the whole welding thing,
You know.
when he stole the plans for the like the German, I think it was like their not their dreadnought, but their but their destroyers, I think it was. When he stole those planes, he was a welder. That's what he was doing there. Like, so he was like working as a welder and stole the fucking blueprint.
What the fuck?
So imagine DJ welding like, let's take this one home.
He's like, hey, give me those plans, man.
Right.
I gotta know what I'm welding here.
He's just humming that.
Well, that's not suspicious at all.
He learned how to weld specifically for that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so his pseudonym that he used as a welder, I just found, was Carl Kahn. And for Krupp Armaments Plant. That was
Krupp. Yep.
Yeah, that's
the Germans.
Yep. Which is fucking amazing. There's just so many. Like every time, like you read a little bit more, it's like, oh, he volunteered for a fire brigade. He worked night shift while doing that, where he allegedly strangled a night security detail officer, incapacitated another one, gaining access to the drawing room, which is where he was able to, which is fucking amazing.
I should have taken that sound bite. I don't know why I didn't do that.
Honestly, we should have did that for
Damn it, that's on me. My bad. To the listeners, I'm sorry. I just like to keep mash that button.
Yeah, right. We would have used it way too much for this.
That's true. They would have got tired of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, all right. So we have, like you mentioned before, he starts hating the Russians, more specifically, and he this is during after World War I. I'm sorry, because again he was spying on the Germans at this point. In World War One. After World War One had ended, he started spying again on the Russians because a lot happened in Russia. We haven't done an episode on that yet. I know Spies wants to be a part of that whenever we do. The Red versus White Army and the other everything else that happened in Russia during that time frame between World War I and World War II was just pretty much everybody being killed. Everybody being killed. So he found that his talents were very well used there. Now, if my memory serves, I didn't write the agent's name down, but he tried to infiltrate the KGB, or the what the KGB was before they became that.
Is that Marciano?
It might have been his name.
Is that the guy you're talking about? He seduced his wife.
No, that's somebody else. I think.
So there's another one.
There was somebody else.
Multiple wives.
There's another one.
That damn blind cook at it again.
So basically, with the money he had got from all of his things, he used that to sponsor air races for Russian aviators, establishing him as one of the social elites at that point, because he was sponsoring, these Russian aviators to do Russian shows, which enabled him to get aerial photos of the Baltic Sea of German vessels.
What?
Yeah. Pretty crazy.
Convenient.
And this is where he meets Marciano, which was the assistant to the Russian Minister of Marine. This is where he seduces Marciano's wife, Nadine, who confided that a German company, Blom and Voss, were seeking to win the contracts to rebuild the Russian fleet. Reilly buys a small company, persuades Marciano to convince Blom and Voss to name the company as their St. Petersburg agents. After that, he was awarded the contracts to rebuild the Russian fleet, sent copies of all their designs to Reilly's firm that have been based on the German fleet. He was really, really good at this. This was all because he had money and he was just able to put himself.
He bought a company and was like,
he just had to put himself in the right situation. He was so charismatic and he was really good at fucking other dudes' wives. At the same time, he had a wife this whole time. He had multiple.
Well, yeah.
I don't even know the other one's names.
Well, I think towards the end, his last wife he had was Pepita.
Pepita. That's right.
Pepita.
That's the funny.
That's the last one he had.
Oh, shit.
That'll be the last one.
What's she doing?
Pepita was chilling.
Just chilling?
She was kicking it. Enjoying the spoils of war.
Yeah.
Because they were rich.
Enjoying all that money.
She was chilling. But that's what I was leading into, though, was how he got caught up. Because, again, Russia, a lot of shit was going on. The Trust was supposedly an anti-Bolshevik organization that was starting to gain some power inside of Russia. Unfortunately, they were a fake. That was a tiny spider.
I just saw you go cross-eyed, and I was like, "What's happening?"
Tiny spider.
Hello. There he is, the spy.
Yeah, that's him.
Sorry about that.
They know
got
too
distracted.
much.
Yes, I went across like there was a tiny ass spider like dropping down on me.
That wasn't a spider. That was Sidney.
Obviously, I saw the mustache. It confused me.
Spider's just wearing a tiny mustache.
Indeed. So we it's in touch with this organization called the Trust. They were supposed to be again the anti-Bolsheviks, pro-monarchist, which was at the time of them trying to figure out, okay, are we going to be Marxist, or are we going to go with the revolution, or are we going to go with the or the monarchy, which would have been we talked about him a few episodes ago actually. About the Tsar and the Tsarina. And again, this is still this. I think Rasputin should have been dead around this point.
Yeah,
but still,
yeah, because this is after
should have been dead allegedly
after the overthrow of Tsar Nicholas. Yeah.
Yep. Tsar Nicholas. Yeah. So that's all going on. They're trying to figure this shit out, which was actually a counter-espionage deception group made by the OGPU. So not the KGB. OGPU, my bad on that. I couldn't remember their name. It was what the hell does it stand for? That's not right. Anyways, whatever. Look it up yourself. Anyway, so they were undercover. They ended up luring Reilly into essentially a trap to meet other anti-communist revolutionaries. Unfortunately, that was not the case. And he gets caught up finally by somebody. Somebody finally catches him. So his wife, Pepita, said that he was consistently determined to return to Russia to see if he couldn't not find and secure some of his friends he believes to still be alive in Russia. So he went there to try to find some of his people. Mm-hmm. He did not come back from this. He did not come back from this.
Yeah,
snatched up.
I think we should probably mention a little bit too. He was also involved, or allegedly involved, in the assassination of Lenin at the time. But he wasn't the one who killed Lenin.
Well, yeah, Lenin died of disease or of illness. He didn't.
Well, this was an attempted assassination.
Well, okay, my bad. I should have mentioned that because you're right.
Yeah,
because there was an attempted assassination on Lenin, which made the entire security of Russia stand on edge.
Yeah,
and like, who the fuck is this guy? And started asking the questions of
he spied a little too close to the sun.
So
because it was always in like these important meetings at this point. Like he was actually an important person in Russia.
Like I mentioned, Marciano, the assistant to the Russian minister. Right. He gets her, convinces her to marry him. He's still married to Margaret at this time. Margaret,
she loved that.
Margaret allegedly dies in a fucking train crash.
Oh, okay.
May or may not have.
Allegedly.
You know. And this is where he kind of gets to the part where he's getting involved in this World War I thing where he's going to go after Vladimir Lenin to be part of the assassination. But he was there, but he didn't do it. Lenin gets shot by some fucking girl. He survives the assassination. And like Aaron said, this kind of made Russia be like,
yeah,
okay,
hey, yo.
We made a mistake.
Okay.
You know. Where are we at? You said he gets caught, right? That's right. Yeah, he's going to prison. Okay, so...
When does he marry Pepita?
I don't know. He's already married to Pepita at this point.
This is between like 1918, 1925, somewhere in that range. Really not sure on the years. A lot of it is still fucking hearsay.
Do you think she knew he was a spy, or do you think she was just like...
I don't think she really probably cared.
I don't really ask him what he does for.
That paycheck kept coming over.
Yeah, she's just staying in nice hotels.
Yeah.
He leaves via the window every time.
Like, why don't you leave the door?
He just gives me $100 bill and tells me to go buy myself some nice things.
So 1925 is when he gets lured back and he gets captured by Russia, and he's in prison and interrogated for fucking months. So part of these interrogation tactics weren't all, or these torture tactics weren't all physical. These were a lot of mental things. He was disguised as like a Russian soldier because they didn't even want people to know that he was a prisoner and that they were trying to get information out of him. But the whole fucking time that they were doing that, like Aaron had mentioned, I don't know if you mentioned during the podcast.
I don't think I mentioned before it.
He was actually taking notes while they were torturing him. He's like, "Oh, that's how you do it."
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah, he was taking notes on them torturing him. He would empty cigarettes out and use the cigarette papers to take notes,
Like right on the inside
on how they were trying to torture him. It's like he never stopped spying.
He's like,
Yeah, and they did a lot
put
of
needles under my fingernails today.
Yeah,
Makes writing this very difficult.
very painful. Yes, very painful. So some of like these mental tactics would be like one of the things that they did for several months is they would basically put him in a car, take him out to the woods, and they would set up like they'd be like, "Well, we're gonna fucking murder you," and they would do like these weird psychological things to him to make him basically like just so fucking scared.
Dip him in honey and tie him to a tree and make bear calls.
Waterboard him and fucking,
I mean, it is Russia, so I mean,
yeah, honestly.
some bears out there. But yeah, because most of it, even like a lot of historians do debate whether or not he was ever physically tortured. The psychological torture, I think everybody can kind of agree on.
Yeah, definitely. Because like I said, everybody kind of knew who this guy, or they heard of him. They don't know who he is.
Yeah.
But now Russia has him, and they're in a situation to where it's like the longer we keep him alive, the more people are going to get close to finding out that we have them. And then other people are going to, start to make moves on this shit.
Yeah.
So allegedly, one day they take him to the woods and he never comes back.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so before they took him to the woods and never came back, he did try to escape and go to Finland, but they caught his ass.
Damn.
Tried to do the jump out the window. He didn't work.
Well, this time didn't work.
Like, get the fuck out. What are you doing? Come on.
It's like, okay.
You did this the last 7 times.
Right. So
You
stop
need a new
humming
move, man.
Everybody knows your thing. We know that's your thing.
that.
There's no
We
jet
can all hear you.
waiting for you.
So after he went to the woods and didn't come back, after he allegedly was killed, and his corpse was allegedly put back, and I think they take him back to the prison. They found his diary in his room. He was to the day that he died.
Had a diary.
Oh yeah, the cigarette thing.
Oh, the cigarette thing. Okay.
So to the day that he died, he was confident he was going to get out of this place.
Yeah.
And give all this information back to the British.
Damn.
Like he had nothing but confidence he was going to escape.
Damn.
Yeah. I mean, it worked for him so far.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
I think he really underestimated the Russian prison system.
Yeah, I think a lot of people probably did.
They like had a gun to his head, and he's like, "Okay, buddy. I mean,
If you really want to try this.
I don't even believe those are real bullets in there.
are we playing your roulette game you're so famous for?"
Oh God! Like one of the funny quotes that I read was that like he may have failed as a husband, but he will forever hold a notable place in the annals of espionage.
Okay.
Okay, well, it's just at least it's Musashi's wife.
Yeah.
Hate that bitch. Go into the woods.
That's like the perfect time because my laptop just died.
Oh, perfect.
nice.
Perfect timing.
It like just went black after I read that quote.
Nice.
Did you run out of battery or something? Or
No, it was on low battery mode, but I thought it would last longer. Honestly,
No, that was Sidney. He snuck in here and put it.
quite literally.
like I was a great husband.
And a good day to you, sir.
And a good blah blah for you.
I mean, the long and short of it is like this guy was, without a doubt, very, very good at his job. He may have lied, and we're not even positive of all the things we just told you. Like everything we might have just said is like 50-50 bullshit.
Yeah.
Most of it.
Allegedly.
Some of it's-
Allegedly, right? Yeah. Because I mean, like I was just looking at after his death, because there's still like eyewitnesses said that they saw him allegedly, like saw his body. They said that the order to kill him came from Stalin.
Yeah.
Like Stalin just was like, "Dude, fuck you. I'm the one with the mustache."
Yeah. and I mean, if you know anything about Stalin was like, why are we even keeping this fucking guy alive?
Probably.
You know what can't talk? Dead people.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, because Stalin was a sneaky bastard on his own right. So he's like, I can't have two sneaky people with mustaches
You know
hanging
who
around.
can't sneak out of our custody? Someone who's dead.
Yeah.
Right. It reminded me of like the early days of photo editing, because there's, of course, like, you know, the whole story. Well, probably don't know the story, but so Lenin obviously was the leader of the Marxist Party at the time.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and how Lenin actually didn't like Stalin.
Yeah.
He didn't want Stalin to take over the country.
No, Stalin was a dick.
Well, yeah, obviously, but well, there's photo evidence that Stalin manipulated a photo of him and Lenin to make them look they were actually cool.
Yep.
Like he used Photoshop.
It was like the first incidents of like photos being manipulated for political purposes
Yeah.
or like whatever.
Yeah, like he actually gave himself. He essentially gave himself a job within the party. So Stalin gave himself a job that was to appoint the next person in charge after Lenin died. So that's gonna be me. That's cool. And people are like, well, dude, Stalin, Lenin hated you. It's like, no, look at this picture of us.
No, we're friends. We're
And
buddies.
like, literally, he moved himself closer to Lenin. He
Yeah.
moved
How do I have this picture
right,
of me and him?
right, holding hands. We're besties.
He's kissing me on the cheek, see?
Obviously. Oh man, but yeah, like there's so many different stories about him after that. Of course, the James Bond thing was a big one. The Gadfly, the book that I mentioned earlier, was written about him in 1897, which actually was confirmed to be correct in 2016.
Yeah.
To be about him. There's just, again, like this TV shows they made about him, the movies they made after
Wasn't
him.
there one called like Trust No One, a novel of a spy or something like that? There was the Ace of Spies.
Yeah, the Ace of Spies was one of them. What was it called?
There's quite a few.
There were a lot, actually.
If you listen to the whole podcast, you could obviously get how they created this 007 character heavily from this fucking guy.
Me anxiety.
Oh,
Okay.
Your gummies were like about to go
it
into
was
the
right,
sauce.
right on the cusp.
Yeah. I've been staring at it this whole podcast.
Just could not handle it one moment longer. But yeah, we can call it on that one though, since your laptop died and whatnot. But yeah, that's it's an interesting dude.
I think we covered a pretty good amount. Pretty fairly.
There's a lot of detail we gloss over. We do that anyway, so it's kind of a typical thing
You
for
know,
us. But
there's a lot of missions he did, which is a lot of allegedlys, and that was kind of something I wanted to avoid. I kind of wanted to just talk about Sidney himself, of who the fuck he was, because there's a lot of things he could have been a part of.
Yep.
You know, may or may not.
Yep. Good times. So yeah, that's
That
our
was
boy.
interesting as hell, man.
Sidney
That was
Reilly.
wild. That was a wild ride.
So if you made it this far on the podcast, we appreciate you giving us a listen. Excuse me, goodness, I almost lost my voice there. That was weird. Anywho, right, scam spider again.
You just arsenic in your fucking drink.
Right? Jeez. So yeah, if you made it this far on the podcast, thanks for listening to us. We appreciate you giving us a shot if you're new. If you're a returning listener, we appreciate you still just the same for sticking with us throughout all of our episodes and shenanigans. Give us a like and follow on your favorite social medias. Check out our merch. Like I said, we have some new stuff out there. If you are thirsty, get yourself a non-alcoholic teddy bear kisses over at Foreign Local.
Forehead kisses,
Jesus, I
sir.
keep doing that. That damn beer is stuck in my fucking head. Forehead kisses you can get over at Foreign Local over in Hammond. Shout out to Mikey for that. Still pretty tight. We have that ongoing there at Foreign. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode and y'all be cool.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.